ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुर्वे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna. So I thought we'll just do a quick revision of chapter 1, which we finished in last class, probably a month ago. So many of you may not remember, but we'll just go through it for the next 15 minutes or so, and then we'll start chapter 2, which is today's discussion. So anyone remembers what we discussed in introduction? So this is chapter 1, just before that, so we can just link back. Introduction. A famous verse which we discussed, very, very famous verse. Anyone?
Yes, Prabhu. Can you tell Prabhu?
Sorry.
Can you tell Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Sorry, the
Hare
voice
Hare
is not.
Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. No, it's good. Yes,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. Can I tell Prabhu?
Sure, Prabhu.
The introduction of devotion starts with the broad content of the book and Mangalacharan and about the pure devotional service.
Thank you.
And we were talking about that Akhila Rasa Murti.
Murti. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Very good. You still remember that. So we discussed about that Akhila Murti, and then we discussed about Mangalacharan, and then we also discussed about Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Gyan Karmadi Anavratam Anukulena Krishnanushilnam Bhaktir Uttama, as we read in the first one. So that was the main discussion, as you can say, which we have done before chapter 1. Now, chapter 1 is entitled Characteristic of Pure Devotional Service. Anyone remembers, just in a nutshell, what we discussed in this chapter? Not Rasanand Prabhu, someone else. So, what is the topic of discussion in this chapter? We can remember the verse, that will be nice. Manmohan Prabhuji, you remember?
Not really.
No problem, no problem. 1 month is a long time. Garima Mataji.
Prabhuji, I don't remember the shlok, but the 6 characteristics we have studied.
Thank you, Mataji.
Klesha Agni Subhada Moksha Lagukrita Sur Durlabha Sandra Ananda.
Visheshatma
Last one was Sri Krishna Akarshan.
Akarshan. Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. आपको सब याद है. So that's very good. So this is what we are discussing in this particular chapter. So there are 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. So as Mataji was saying, Kleshagni, we discussed about each word. Kleshagni means, anyone remembers? Klesh Agni. What is the meaning here? Not Garima Mataji, not Rasanand Prabhu, someone else.
The removal of suffering and its causes.
Thank you, Mataji. Shubhada, someone else? Shubhada, very simple word. All auspicious. Thank you. Moksha Lahuta Krata. What does it mean?
Liberation,
happiness, derived the happiness from imperial liberation.
derived happiness from imperial liberation.
Impersonal.
Impersonal.
Okay. It makes the happiness of liberation very small. People who consider liberation as a very big thing, but bhakti, pure bhakti, makes that happiness very, very small. Sudurlabha, someone else?
Very rare to obtain.
Very, very rare to obtain. Thank you, Prabhuji. Sandra Nanda Visheshatma, someone else.
Condensed bliss.
Condensed bliss. Bhakti's bliss is the most condensed bliss. And the last one, very simple, Shri Krishna Akarshani. So what does bhakti does?
Attracts Sri Krishna.
It attracts Sri Krishna. What else attracts Krishna, Mataji? Ramya Mataji? What else attracts Krishna?
Bhakti.
Yeah, that's what you're talking. I'm saying, what else?
Devotees would.
Serving the devotees or asking Krishna only bhakti, not everything else.
So that's what is bhakti. So your answer should be nothing else. Nothing else except bhakti attracts
Yes.
Krishna. You cannot attract Krishna with anything except bhakti. Now, when you're talking about serving devotees, that's bhakti. So it's all under the big umbrella of bhakti. But I'm saying, except bhakti, nothing else can attract Krishna. So if you want to impress Krishna, please Krishna, what you have to do? Pure bhakti, nothing else. So everything else is secondary. So bhakti is the only thing which will attract Krishna. Thank you, everyone. So I'll just quickly go through. Kleshagni, as Mataji said, destruction of suffering and its causes. Anyone remembers 5 types of avidya? You can read your notes, that's fine. Tell me half, 1 word, 2 words.
Avidya.
Avidya, thank you, Prabhuji. Second,
Asmita.
Asmita. What is the difference between avidya and asmita? Vijay Gopi Mataji.
Asmita is like it's a false ego. You are identifying yourself as a bodily conception.
So avidya is the root one, where the root itself is wrong, and then when the root is wrong, what will happen? The first step will also be wrong. Huh? So when you start taking, you're on a motorway, you have to take exit 1, you take exit 2. The route itself is wrong. Huh? And then you obviously reach to a different destination, and then you have to make a detour. So we read about avidya is ignorance, to mistake that which is impermanent to be permanent. One of the characteristics Shukadev Goswami described for Kali Yuga people, Dukkheshu Sukhmanina. In Dukkha, they will consider Sukha. Huh? When they're drinking alcohol, for example, or taking drugs, they're actually making their own body suffer themselves. They pay for it. And they feel, maza aa gaya. Maza aa gaya. I saw a video clip just came up. Someone was trying to do a bungee jumping. And this person was so scared, so scared, so scared, could not do so. Dukheshu Sukhmanina. So wherever the dukkha is, they consider, wow, Sukha. Asmita is false ego, bodily identification. So that's where the things are already going wrong. Third one, avidya, asmita.
Raga.
What does raga mean?
Attachment.
Attachment. And the opposite of raga?
Dvesha.
Dvesha. So because of asmita, we have raga and dvesha. Because we identify with the bodies. I'm Indian, so my neighborhood country must be enemy of me. I'm male, I'm female, I'm very intelligent, I'm PhD. This is a foolish person. I'm intelligent person. I look very good. This person is ugly looking. So raga and dvesha comes. And the last one, very, very important. Fifth one.
Avidya.
Abhinivesh.
Abhinivesh.
What does abhinivesh mean?
Attachment or absorption.
Complete absorption. Like in a drama, your child becomes Duryodhan, for example. And then the drama finishes, he comes home, Nimai comes home, he's still behaving like a Duryodhan. Prabhuji will say, Hare bhaiya, drama khatam, come back to real life. But if he's still behaving in the same way, you will think, yaar, kuch problem hai, yeah? Some problem is there. But we are actually the same thing. It's not our child. We are the same thing. We are pure servants of Krishna. I was reading to Prabhupada chapter 2, and Prabhupada saying pure devotion service is already there. So that's our innate nature. But right now we are misaligned with our innate nature, and we are misbehaving so much with the Prakriti. Huh? We show as if really we are this. So Krishna is like, what happened to my dear children? Huh? They are behaving so weirdly. So we are all like that. Drama is finished, we're still in the drama. Abhinivesh, complete absorption. People playing some video games. And, when they're shooting some images virtually, they think they are winning some big thing. Huh? Just by shooting images virtually, they're sitting on the computer for 8-9 hours playing some video games, and they think they have won the world. Huh? And then when they come out, they still try to shoot and nothing happens. They get frustrated. And this why it says that depression comes into the people when they are too much on the screen. Because too much in the virtual world, when the actual world comes, they can't handle. And there's a dissonance between the actual world and virtual world. Because in the actual world, your shooting images will not work. You have to work pretty hard. So, abhinivesh. So, this is the 5 types of klesha. So, what bhakti does, it removes everything from the bottom. I'll just quickly go through. So, avidya leads to, anyone remembers avidya leads to?
Desire.
Desire. Thank you, Prabhuji. And desire lead to?
Action.
Action. Thank you. So, avidya to desire, desire to action. And because we are acting under the 3 modes of material nature, what happens? Karma bandhan. Karma bandhan. Huh? So, our avidya leads to karma bandhan. And it may be positive or negative, but we are all in bandhan, which leads to klesha. Bhavesmin klesha mananam as per Kunti Maharani. Thank you. Now, for the actions, we read this verse from Padma Purana, which is given by Rupa Goswami as well. The beautiful verse, I'll quickly read. Aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijam phalonmukham kramenaiva praliyeta Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. Anyone can describe this word just in simple language. What is being said here? Don't read the translation. We can read the translation, but just describe.
Could you explain the
Sorry, mother, your voice is
example of
echoing.
samosa? That on the
Samosa.
Prabhupada state, we just manifested, and the next was Kuta. We little desire we have, then Bija. We have a solid desire that I don't have money, but I must steal it. And Prarabdha means I do the action.
Thank you, Mata. Very, very nice. Huh? So there are 4 steps given. Aprarabdha, which is unmanifest karma. It's there in the stock, completely unmanifest. And Kutam refers to, as Mataji was saying, some psychological disposition is happening in my mind. Should I steal? Should I not steal? Should I steal? No, I should not steal. That's a bad activity. Some disposition. Another example is given. If you sprout a seed, so seed starts growing under the mud, isn't it? So it's not manifest as yet, but it starts. But after a while, you'll see little leaflets, which is coming out. So Kutam refers to which is underground sprouting. So, bija, falon mukham, and then the final comes the prarabdha, the actual activity. So bija, the subtle detectable impression. So bija and kuta, the difference is slightly grossified. This is solid desire has been. Prarabdha, you are performing the activity. Okay. And the reaction, how many lifetimes the reaction may take to convert from unmanifest to manifest? Many lifetimes. Any example someone remembers?
Dhritarashtra, he had killed the babies of the bird, and after 50 births, his own sons were killed.
Yeah, so he took 50 births to get the reaction of a karma which he had done earlier. And that's why in Bhagavad Gita says, Gahana Karmano Gati. In 4th chapter, the verse says, to understand the Gati of karma is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Because we don't know which desire, which unmanifest thing is coming through in this particular birth. So it may take many births. Prarabdha, Kuta, Bija, and Prarabdha. Now, all this can be completely stopped from the root bottom if you perform bhakti. All these types of kleshas are destroyed by bhakti gradually from prarabdha to aprarabdha. So bhakti not only gives you pacification in this birth, in this life right now, but also it removes everything. And Rupa Goswami says like roasting the seed. Roasted seeds are not germinated. Otherwise, if you cut the grass on the bottom, when the rain will come, grass will grow back again because the seed was still there. So our desire to do sinful activity is still there in the heart. We may perform some tapasya, some celibacy, some dan, but that will only temporarily remove it. But the seed is not removed. When we perform bhakti, the seed is removed. And Prabhupada gives these 2 examples. I'll quickly read. My dear Udva, it's 11th canto. Just as a blazing fire turns firewood into ashes, similarly, devotion unto me completely burns to ashes sins committed by my devotees. Completely. 6th canto example. Although one may be able to neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations. We have examples here as well. Yes, Ujjwala Samataji or Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, when we talk about this devotion unto me completely burns to ashes the sins committed by my devotees, are we talking at the level of bhava stage or prema stage?
Sorry, I didn't get your question, Mataji.
So we talk about how
This
the
is
sins,
talking about the sins here.
sins
Yeah.
are completely destroyed by being devoted to the Lord.
Yes.
And when the devotees are committed to the Lord, then the sins get destroyed.
Yes.
Just like a blazing fire turns to ashes, the firewood.
Yes.
So my question is does that happen at the bhava stage or prema stage?
Or
What
which
stage?
stage? Anartha
Yeah.
Nivritti, Mataji. Anartha Nivritti, all these things happen in Anartha Nivritti.
Okay.
So when there are so many anarthas in a person's heart, they get destroyed. That's why it's called anartha nivritti. By doing bhajan kriya, as your bhajan goes intense, your anartha will get uprooted. If your bhajan is not intense, anartha will go out slowly. That's why they say a simple example, Birbal ki khichdi, you know that. So if you have to make khichdi, you have to put some agni, some fire has to be there if you want to make khichdi. Otherwise, if the fire is very, very low, our chanting is very low, for example, offensive, our devotion service is very low, it will take long time, practically seems impossible. Khichdi will never get cooked. So bhajan kriya, anartha nivritti will depend on bhajan kriya. So, and this is actually, we're talking beginning stage. So sin will get rectified in the very beginning stage. If you remember in Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter 28th verse, Yesham twant gatam papam jananam punya karmanam. Twant gatam papam, one who have stopped doing sin, only punya. That's where the bhakti is continued. Otherwise, bhakti is interrupted. Ninapan karana, te dvanda moh nirmukta bhajante mam dradvrataha. Dradvrata. So, pap has to be stopped in the very beginning, actually. But Krishna says, I'll help you to do that. You don't have to worry about it. As devotees say, you just perform your devotion. Don't worry about your sins committed in the past. Obviously, that means the recommendation is you should not knowingly at least perform sin now. Okay. Okay. Second one, we read Shubhada. Shubhada, as everyone was saying, is all auspicious. What are the four characteristics of something being all auspicious? Anyone remembers? Again, read from your notes. That's fine.
All attractive.
All attractive. Thank you, Prabhuji. So Shubhada, which is bhakti here, is all attractive. It's not like only for Indians the bhakti is there. Australians cannot do it. Americans cannot do it. It's all attractive. Every jiva gets attracted towards this. Yes. Second,
Affection towards all living entities.
affection towards living entities. Yes. So it benefits everyone. I'm just reading from the screen. It benefits everyone. So not anyone is excluded. If I am chanting, okay, my chanting here, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj is chanting. Just by chanting in Mayapur, he is benefiting the whole world actually. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj example is given. It attracts everyone. It produces good qualities, really good qualities. And the last is bestow superior happiness. So any activity can give you happiness. Like you eat a pizza, you may feel some happiness, or gulab jamun or something. You may sleep on a nice soft bed, you may feel happiness. But this gives you superior happiness. So what are the four characteristics of being something Shubhada? You can say, I'm also very Shubhada. I have made a company which is Shubhada. You can name someone as Shubhada, but there are many girls' name as Shubha. So which is nice, but what is Shubhada? These four benefit. It should benefit everyone, not just the person. If only benefiting me, that's not Shubhada. Attracts everyone, does not only attract me, it attracts everyone. It produces good quality. So we read about all four. I'm just going to read the last one today in the revision so that we can all remember what we bestow superior happiness. This is the 2D. Sukha Pradatvam. What is the superior happiness? So Rupa Goswami divides happiness into three categories, which we know: Bhoga, Mukti, and Bhakti. So Mukti, you can say Tyaga. So Bhoga, Tyaga, and Bhakti. So what is Bhoga? Everyone knows material enjoyment. As I gave some examples, we all get some temporary happiness. There's no denial to that, but this very, very temporary, very flickering, momentarily happiness comes. Doesn't last. Mukti, liberation, this is also a type of happiness, no doubt about it, but in comparison to bhakti, it's also very, very, very limited. And we'll read some comparisons later. And bhakti happiness, which you get or any persons get by serving the Lord and his devotees, performing pure devotional service gives the best type of happiness, and it's permanent. It doesn't go off and on. Of these, The happiness of devotional service is the superior. Why? It is eternal and includes and excels the pleasure found in the types of happiness. Huh? So we're not denying other types of pleasures. Absolutely not. There is some pleasure in the world. We're not denying it. But bhakti already includes, and the Prabhupada gave that famous example. If you have 1,000 rupee note, it already includes 2 rupee note, 5 rupee note, 10 rupee note. Huh? So Brahman realization, if material pleasures are say 5 rupee note, Brahman realization can be 50 rupee note. Your 1,000 rupee note already has everything. So why don't you go for 1,000 rupee note? And how it manifested, we discussed sadhana, bhava, prema. It just intensifies as we progress. So in sadhana, bhakti sukha, in bhava we have ananda, and prema we have sadhananda. We'll discuss about that. Okay, third one, moksha lagutakrat. It minimizes the pleasure derived by moksha. And Rupa Goswami gave this definition. When even a little attraction for the Lord grows in the heart, the four objects of human attainment, artha, dharma, kama, and moksha, becomes like a grass, shameful to appear before bhakti. A very big statement, actually. Huh? Usually we say there are four purushartha, and you should live your life according to those four purusharthas. But now Rupa Goswami is saying they become like a grass, shameful to appear. Huh? So very bold, big statement. Narad Muni says the same thing. All the siddhis headed by liberation and all astonishing material pleasures follow after the great goddess called Hari Bhakti. So if you have bhakti, everything else will follow automatically. You don't have to separately endeavor for anything. There's a whole chapter in NOD. We'll read about this moksha laktakrat later as well. Prabhupada gives example. I've just picked two. So 329:13, very famous example. Salokya sari shri samipya sarupya ekatvakam api uta. Diyamanam na grahananti. So there are 5 types of liberation. Diyamanam, even if I give them, Lord Kapila is saying, even if I give them, na grahananti, they do not desire for it. A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone remembers an example where this thing has really happened? In Shastra, obviously. There's a very... Yes, thank you. Kolavicha Sridhari was extremely poor person, externally speaking. And Lord said, you can ask any siddhis, anything I can give you. And Kolavicha Sridhar says, why do I need anything? But he had one desire. What was his desire? Mataji, remember? But he had one desire.
And that Mahaprabhu. That Mahaprabhu come to his stall every day and bargain for it again and again.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Somehow the echo is passing through different houses. I don't know. I think Vijulasa Mataji was trying to say something. Yes, so he still had one desire that Mahaprabhu should come to my stall every day and negotiate and fight, love fight with me to get cheaper bananas. 3:15:48. I'll not read the whole thing, but it's a statement. Do not care even for the highest material benediction, namely liberations, to say nothing of other less important benedictions, like the material happiness of the heavenly kingdom. Okay. Sudurlabha, as we says, durlabh is rare, and sudurlabha, very, very rare. So this is from Tantras and from Rupa Goswami. I'll not read all that. There are 2 reasons why devotional service is extremely rare and difficult to achieve. Anyone remembers the 2 reasons why the bhakti is sudurlabha? Anyone?
It has to be given. You can't acquire it by one's own endeavor.
Yes. Anything else? The main thing?
And Krishna becomes controlled by bhakti.
Yes. Can you extend that second statement, Akhandusa Prabhu?
Because
So my question is, why bhakti is sudurlabha? You already said it.
Because Krishna doesn't give it very easily, because he becomes controlled by the love of devotee.
Yeah, so he has to become slave now. Who wants to become slave? No one wants to become slave, right? So Krishna has to become slave. So you have to pay price for it, right? If you want to buy someone, you have to pay price for it. So if you want to buy Krishna, then obviously Krishna has to be purchased through a price, which he puts on his head. What's the price tag on Krishna's head? Like everything has a price tag, right? You go to Meyer, $320 only. You buy a fridge, $1,600 only. So what's the price tag on Krishna's head? What's the price tag? Master Prabhu is speaking. I can't hear because my senses are imperfect.
Ashakti, Prabhu.
One should have the greed to serve the Lord. That is the price that one should have to pay. Like he has to surrender himself, and he should have the greed to serve more.
Little close, but some important word. Price tag on Krishna's head.
Lowlyam.
Lowlyam. Okay.
Asakti, attachment.
Material
Attachment.
attachment.
Pure bhakti. You can buy me through pure bhakti. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Vikranite so atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavassalaha. Gautam Taitri Upanishad, which Advaita Acharya found actually. What's the starting of the verse? Tulsi dal matrena jalasya chulukenma vikranite so atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavassalaha. So tulsi dal matrena, just by offering a tulsi leaf, jalasya chulukenva, chullu bharjal. Everyone understand chullu bharjal? That means very little. Alpa. Vijay Gopi Mata. Alpa jal. Kunjam jal. Kunjam Ganga jal. And little tulsi dal. Vikranite. I get sold. The word used is vikranite. Swa-atmanam. I sell myself. Bhaktebhyo bhaktavassalaha. Aham bhaktaparadino. He aswatantra ivadaja. I'm completely under the control of my devotee. So Krishna becomes controlled by pure bhakti. So this is a price tag on Krishna's head. Krishna is also a product. Tatha prema bhaktim swakame prayaksha. That type of devotional service which purchases you, please give it to me. And as Prabhuji said initially, it has to be given. You cannot approach it. You cannot say, I've done PhD in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Krishna, you must give me. You gave Putana the Bhakti, who gave you Visha? I am giving you nice nice mango every day, fresh mango, fresh butter. Why don't you give it to me? Krishna will say, get out. The demanding attitude is very much against the spirit of bhakti. We have to become subservient, humble. Then Krishna may give the inspiration in the heart of his pure devotees, and that pure devotee will say, okay, Krishna, le lo, chalega, just take him, it's all right. Prabhupada will say, okay, chalega, 60% pure bhakti, chalega. Okay, it is unattainable, as Prabhuji said, and Krishna is reluctant to give. And we can understand that. We can understand. Even if when we work, we get paid for it, we are still reluctant to go to work and follow boss's advice, isn't it? We're getting paid for it. So why would Krishna get sold for nothing? Okay, read that. Fifth, Sandrananda Vishesh Atma. So as someone else was saying, Sandra means condensed, Ananda means bliss. So it's a condensed bliss. Bhakti is composed of a special condensed bliss, the bliss of Brahman realization accumulated by Samadhi, lasting half a lifetime of Brahma, cannot be compared to one drop of the ocean of happiness of Bhakti. So this is a comparison Rupa Goswami is giving. You remember this chart? Beautiful chart. You can say the first one, the smallest one is Brahman happiness. So there is a happiness we're not doing. And we cannot even see the happiness derived by material things here. This is not even in the chart, which we consider generally 99.99% population considered that happiness, male-female attraction is the topmost sukha in this material world. That's not even the chart here. And then they say, okay, Brahman realization. That's Atma Sakshatkar. Brahma mein mil jayenge, Nirvana and all that. That's like the small drop. And when you're at Bhava stage, okay, there's some 10-15% Sukha is there. But at Prema stage, boom, fully blossomed flower. This is called Sandra Ananda Vishesha. That's why when you have that Ananda in your heart, why do you care about anything else? Once Alexander went to India and he had heard a lot about Indian sages. He was wondering, what does these sages have? Anyway, he went in front of a sage. He was doing his tapasya and he stood in front of him, big Alexander. He's standing in front of a sage and he said, ask something, you bhikshuk. Because you sometimes say, sage, even sannyasis say, Tridandi bhikshuk. Bhikshuk, they write bhikshuk and they feel like that as well. So he asked, oh, you're a beggar. Ask something from me. And you know what he said? Just step aside. You're blocking my sun. Alexander, I'm the Vishwa Vijeta. I have won all the world. I can give you anything. And he said, just step aside. You're blocking my son. And he got very, very angry. Huh? He said, how dare you say that? He said, the daring I have to say that because you're the servant of my servant. What? Because you are controlled by your anger. So anger is your master. And I control my anger. So I am the master of my anger. Huh? So you are the servant of my servant, which is anger. Then Alexander realized, I can't give anything to these sages. Huh? They're completely self-satisfied with the association of Krishna. Premanjana chureda bhakti vilochanena santah sadaiva hridayeshu vilokyanti. Sadaiva. All the time they're seeing Krishna. They don't need anything else outside. And they're so happy no matter what the life does, positive, so-called positive or negative, they don't care. Huh? They're completely absorbed. Chaitanya Prabhu was saying in one class, a normal person, if you say this is the material realm, okay, this is the material realm, this is the spiritual realm. A normal person, a sadhaka, we are saying in this case, lives on the normal plane, and sometimes they look upwards for the spiritual plane, isn't it? Huh? Because normally we are dealing with different problems of our life. Sometimes when we get in association of any sannyasi or any senior Vaishnavas, we feel very good about it. Huh? Sometimes, and then we come back. A siddha, here a siddha devotee, they always live in a spiritual plane, and sometimes they look down. How these people are suffering, huh? I wish they can also become devotee of Krishna, and then they go back up. They look down, they go back up, huh? So they always live. So there's a huge difference between a sadhaka and a siddha in that sense. Huh? So where we are living, we have to decide that. Not we live in Glenfield or Kellyville or Chatswood, where our mental state is. Huh? My Guru Maharaj said, Vrindavan is a state of mind, not just a physical land. Physical land is definitely, there's a state of mind. That state of mind of Vrindavan, we all have to achieve. Okay. Okay. Noted. Last one, Sri Krishna Akarshani. Whose picture is that on the screen? Someone else can say. A beautiful person. Very.
Billava Mangla Thakur.
So he was how many years old as per Prabhupada? 700 years old. And he lived in Vrindavan for hundreds of years. Prabhupada says that. And every day, Krishna, Thakurji, will wait for him to come to that place and sing bhajans for him. It's like Jagannath, huh? Loves Gita Govind. He cannot sleep without Gita Govind, huh? Unless Mama puts the lori on, they cannot sleep. So similarly, Krishna will wait for Bilwa Mangal Thakur when Thakurji will come in. So Thakur is saying him as Thakur. Huh? Bilwa Mangal Thakur. Huh? You can say Thakur. Huh? So he will wait for this person. Karma Bhai Khichdi, Jagannath ji is waiting when Karma will make Khichdi. And Karma Bhai is taking bath. Thakur ji is disturbed. Are Maiya, don't take bath. Feed me Khichdi. I'm hungry. But that sadhu told me to take bath first and then make Khichdi. And Jagannath ji said, don't worry about the sadhu. Give me Khichdi. So she is doing datun from one hand, feeding Khichdi from other hand to Krishna. And Krishna is so happy, so happy. And now we are reading all the Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav is still not getting Krishna Prema. So again, this is one way to achieve it, but the point here is at the end, the success is not in the certificate, success is not in the position or in followings, success in getting that prem. Sansiddhim Hari Toshanam. If Hari is prasanna from your activities, then it's success. Otherwise, it's a shama eva hi kevalam. Shama eva hi kevalam. You may have achieved so-called a lot, but actually haven't gone anywhere. Bhakti Maharaj gives us example of a barat which was going from place A to place B, and all the baratis sat on the boat, and the boatman is rowing the boat whole night. Whole night he's rowing. And when the morning comes, where are they? Exactly at the same spot. They haven't moved anywhere. They have done a lot of hard work, haven't moved anywhere because the anchor of attachment is still there. What is the 10th offense? Namatar Prabhu. His name is Namatar Prabhu, so I can ask him. To maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Now, how many of us are struggling with that? I raise my hand. So many certificates, so many classes given, not heard, given as well. Explained to many people. But look in our heart, so much attachments are there, so much misconceptions are there, so many desires are still just doesn't go anywhere. Huh? was listening one class and the speaker was saying, in Kali Yuga it is so nice, people only see tan, not man. Tan means body. They only see tan, not man. If they start seeing our man, it will be so embarrassing. Prabhuji, aapke man mein bhi. I thought you were a devotee. Huh? You see, if you open the man, this man goes where not, where not. So he's saying, so nice. We only see each other's tan. Otherwise, we can't maintain any relationship, can't maintain anything. Yeah? So thank you, Krishna. So at least from tan, we can put some devotional garb and then try to get that love. So, okay, Sri Krishna Karshani, this is the only way to achieve Krishna's attention. Nothing else. Nothing else will attract Krishna. Pure devotion service is the only means to attract Krishna. Prema Bhakti, Mataji, Prema Bhakti, Mataji is not here today. She is in Vrindavan. So Prema Bhakti is so powerful that it attracts and controls even the all-attractive Supreme Controller, Sri Krishna. And then the tan doesn't matter. मन मना भव मत भक्तो मत्याजी माम नमस्कुरु. Man को लाना है. I'll just read this. I really like this. Again, 11th canto. There's a lot of Upadesh, and you see the reference that Prabhupada is giving from 11th canto, this Uddhav Gita. My dear Uddhava, the unalloyed devotional service in the form of Prema Bhakti rendered to me by my devotees brings me under their control. Prema Bhakti rendered to me. Those engaged in mystic yoga, Sankhya philosophy, pious work, Vedic study, austerity, or renunciation cannot thus control me to this extent. So they're all nice. It's not we are saying they're not nice. They are also valid, but they cannot attract Krishna. They cannot attract Krishna. It says when gopis, I'll say in Hindi first, जब गोपियां गाली देती हैं तो कृष्ण को ज्यादा अच्छा लगता है. How do you translate गाली? You understand, Vijay Gopi Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So when Gopi is saying, some bad words to Krishna, you kala, you black person, outside, inside, they also say, not only a black from the body, a black from the heart as well. You cheater, you debauchee, you're going to this Gopi and that Gopi. Krishna says, Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakta. So the Vedic stuti, again a valid stuti, does not attract Krishna. So, but when Gopi gives gali, Krishna just loves it. That's why he leaves Vaikuntha. I come to Vrindavan, Bholok Vrindavan. So koi to mujhe gali dega, koi mujhe dantega. Someone will scold me, chase me, bind me. Because Vaikuntha, everyone is offering prayers to Krishna. Purusha Sukta prayers. And Krishna says, ho gaya bhai. Enough is enough. Someone needs to chastise me. So Mother Yashoda fulfills that desire of Krishna. Chalo Krishna, I will bind you today and not give you any food till evening. And Krishna is totally disturbed. No food till evening. So Vedeshu Durlabham, we cannot attract Krishna just by Vedic study. Adurlabham Atma Bhakta. Atma Bhakta word is used. When you do bhakti, Krishna is very pleased. And here is a very, very nice picture. So many acharyas have actually explained this pastime, Jiva Goswami especially, when Krishna himself, and again, when he's giving this philosophy, he has to show the example as well, right? So he's saying Sri Krishna Karshani, he gives the example, because Radharani is bhakti personified. When she is bhakti personified, then Krishna has to be attracted. And that's why Krishna is attracted to Srimati Radharani, because she is bhakti personified. So if we get the mercy of Srimati Radharani, Krishna will also be get attracted towards our that devotional part. It's a famous pastime, will not go there. Anand Vrindavan Champu, Jiva Goswami explains this pastime. Krishna becomes a chudi-wala. You understand chudi-wala? I don't know in Telugu what you call. Okay, we understand. Bangles, Bengal-wala. So Krishna becomes Chudi-wala and selling chudiyan to Radharani. He is just completely disturbed. I haven't seen Radharani. Radharani here again is not a female. Don't need to explain this group, but bhakti personified. Krishna cannot live without bhakti. So he wants to have this interaction with his devotees. Okay, Srimati Radharani is called Madan Mohan Mohini. Anyone can explain that? Giriraj Prabhuji? Madan Mohan Mohini, what does it mean?
Then, so Prabhuji, Krishna went to Radharani as
just
to
the meaning of
impress
the word,
her.
Prabhuji. Just the meaning of the word.
Madan Mohini means like the Madan Mohan is Krishna who have So it attracted, like he becomes a Mohini. So like Madan Mohan Mohini. So
Okay.
he got the Gopi Bhav to impress Radha Rani in a way
Yes.
that he becomes that role.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So Madan refers to the Kama of this material world, Kamdev, Kamdev, who attracts all of us in different extents, different degrees. So Madan Mohan refers to Krishna. So if we are attracted to Krishna, then we are not attracted to this Kamdev of this Cupid of this material world. So Madan Mohan is Krishna, and one who attracts even this Madan Mohan is Madan Mohan Mohini Srimati Radharani. Okay. One is controlled by attachments. One becomes attached to that which gives him pleasure. Is that right? The first line which you see, is it very, very clear, right? Basic language. One becomes attached to that what gives him pleasure. If cricket gives you pleasure, you will become attached to cricket or footy or whatever, movies. That's very nice. So only self-satisfied people can remain detached and thus independent. Keshav Maharaj keeps saying in his lectures, very beautiful line. He says, the richest person is the one who possesses the most. The richest person is the one who needs the least. So by our possessions, we don't become rich. When our needs go down, when our material dependencies goes down, then we become rich. The Lord is self-satisfied Atmaram, but he is attracted to his own pleasure potency, Hladini Shakti, and thus becomes attached to and controlled by Hladini Shakti, because Hladini Shakti gives him pleasure. That's the same concept in material world as well. The essence of Hladini Shakti is love of Godhead. Therefore, one who has prem can attract and control Krishna. Okay, so we read this chart earlier. I'll just quickly say. So in sadhana, there are only two characteristics, Kleshagni and Shubhada, and also in a smaller degree. In bhava, they're in a higher degree, Kleshagni, Shubhada, in two extra counts, which is Moksha Lagtakrit plus Sudurlabha. In prema, every six characteristics manifest in full form, 100% form, which is Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha Lagtakrit, Sudurlabha, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Shri Krishna Akarshani. So all six appears together. Okay, so any questions before we step to the next chapter? Okay, everyone understood the six qualities? You're all in prema stage. So you all have all the six qualities in full. Please bless me. I also get some in a little degree. Okay, so this is our sort of chart where we have the whole NOD in one page. So what we have just finished, the first wave which had introduction in chapter 1. In introduction, we read overview of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, definition of pure devotional service. And chapter 1, we just finished, which had 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. Okay. Now we're going to enter into the second wave. The second wave will have chapter 2 to 16, which will deal with sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti again can be divided into Vaidhi and Raganuga bhakti. We'll talk about all this. Now, amongst this, Vaidhi bhakti is the most one which we all need. We are because on that level. So this will be explained in many, many chapters. Raganuga bhakti is only explained in 2 chapters, chapter 15 and 16. So from 2 to 14, 13 chapters we'll be reading about the Vaidhi bhakti. And then obviously the third wave belongs to Bhava Bhakti and fourth wave belongs to Prema Bhakti. Okay, so now we're starting second wave, chapter 2. Chapter 2, Prabhupada entitled as the first stages of devotion, which is BRS, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1 to 1 to 1 to 15. So there are around 15 verses which Prabhupada has covered from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu to put into this particular chapter, known as first stages of devotion. Okay, just quickly reading the definition. Anyone can explain what's the definition of sadhana bhakti? Just in a nutshell, in simple language. Anyone remember sadhana bhakti?
Devotional service in practice.
Thank you. So whatever we are practicing right now, most of us are in that stage called sadhana bhakti. Bhava bhakti? Someone else?
Ecstasy,
Devotion
Thank you.
devotion,
And prema bhakti, everyone knows. Devotional service in pure love of God. I'll just read quickly. So devotional service in practice is the process of reviving, as I'm saying, reviving. It's already there. It's not something we're importing from New Zealand. No, it's already there. It's a process of reviving our love of Krishna by following regulative principles. This leads to Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, spontaneous service. Bhava Bhakti, devotional service in ecstasy, occurs when one begins to achieve self-realized affection for the Supreme. And Prema Bhakti awakens when affection of Krishna deepens to the greatest extent as per the living entity. Now, this greatest extent will vary. In gopis is different, in kinkaris is different, in manjaris is different, but greatest extent we understand, to your capacity, the greatest extent. If you can lift 10 kilo weight, that is the greatest capacity you have, right? Someone can lift 50 kilo weight. That's the greatest capacity of that person. So sadhana, bhava, we all understand that, and prema, everything. So this is the target, to achieve everything, all six in full, 100%. Okay, so Prabhupada starts this chapter, qualification for practicing devotional service. So how do you qualify? So something you are praising a lot, so how do you qualify to get that product? So Prabhupada says, if one simply has an attraction to execute devotional service, he is qualified. A very simple line. Simply, he should have attraction, some taste. Attraction here refers to taste. To execute. He is qualified to begin practicing it. Now the question will come, how do you get the taste? So you look at this chart. Okay, the chart is in the next page. Anyway, just continue. So Srila Prabhupada explains, for a person who have natural taste for understanding books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is easier than for those who are simply accustomed to mental speculation and argumentative processes. So those people will find it very difficult to understand the spirit of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. So how do you get the taste? By Agyat Sukrati. We'll expand on that as well. Agyat Sukrati means unknowingly executing devotional service. Some examples here, someone, in university students, they're eating prasadam, they don't know what it is. There's good food, good halwa, good khichdi, good papad. But while they're eating the prasadam, they're accumulating the Agyat Sukrati. Someone helping in cutting vegetables. Someone time we call some volunteers, can you please come and help us? They think it's just a work, but it's not a work, it's called seva. Seva means it's connected to Krishna, and that's giving benefit of purification to that living entity. They don't know what they are doing, they're laughing and talking, but they're helping Krishna. Or someone looking at the books, and that's why they say, place the book in the person's hand, because even by touching Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, they will get some sukrati. So they don't know what the book is, they may not buy it, they may not appreciate it, but by touching Bhagavad Gita, that's why looking at the pictures, many devotees who sell the books, they tell, they open the picture pages in Bhagavad Gita. People get attracted to the pictures, very nice pictures. And when they touch it, they see the pictures, then they may get some attraction, some Agyat Sukrati is going on there. Prabhupada, sorry, Prabhu.
Jagannath Rath Yatra.
Jagannath Yatra, thank you, Prabhu. Many people, thousands of people just seeing in Sydney or New York or Switzerland, just by seeing Jagannath, seeing devotees, they appreciate. Sometimes they clap. My Guru Maharaj was doing a Harinam in South Africa, some very remote city. No one knew about Krishna. Anyway, a couple of devotees, they were just walking through, and someone had taken a video of that. So while Maharaj was watching his own video of the Harinam party, later at night, he said, stop at one place. Can you rewind it? The devotees reminded it. And what this devotee had done, he was taking the video of the other people, how they are sort of reacting on the Harinam party. So one person was drinking something and eating something. When he saw Harinam party and he heard it, from his feet, he started tapping. And that was captured in the video. And Maharaj said, so nice. Look at this person. His devotional life has started. So he was so happy just by someone tapping his feet, little bit, seeing the Harinam party. Although he's eating and drinking something, Maharaj said, oh, so nice, so nice. Maharaj was so happy to see that one person moving his legs a little bit, seeing Harinam party. So we cannot appreciate so much, to be very honest, but Maharaj can see. So imagine how much happy Maharaj will be when we are performing our daily sadhana very nicely. The sannyasis or seniors become so pleased. Prabhupada becomes so pleased when we are sincerely performing, although the faults may be there, but we're still sincerely trying to perform those. Prabhupada becomes so pleased by that sadhana bhakti. Yes, Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji, wanted to ask, one Mataji came and she wanted to well, she was not a devotee as such, but she came and they had some program or in the park, and then she wanted to actually just donate some, because she had leftover watermelons which were not cut but like whole, and then she just said, where can I give it to someone? So is that
Yes,
uh,
Mataji, definitely. Anything. I'll tell you one instance of Prabhupada which I heard in some lecture. When Prabhupada was giving a lecture in one place in America in the beginning days, Prabhupada obviously was giving this Bhagavatam class in the temple hall, and one drunkard came. One drunkard came fully drunk. He was just moving his legs, and he's stinking. His body is stinking. He's completely, ugly looking, a stinking guy. And when he comes in the room, devotees say, "Oh, go out, go out, go out." And Prabhupada said, "He has done such a nice devotional service." And devotees like, "What devotional service he has done?" And Prabhupada says, "Brought some tissues for Krishna, tissues for the toilet tissue paper." So he brought a little bag of toilet tissue paper. He left it there and he went out. So Prabhupada was not looking at his body, he was looking at what he has left for, temple brahmacharis or devotees to use. That was the toilet tissue paper. And Prabhupada said, "Oh, he's done wonderful service for Krishna." So now Mataji is giving watermelon. Very nice. So anything, anytime we do, even unconsciously to Krishna or to his devotees, it's counted in our account up there, and that's called Agyata Sukriti. Is
oh,
that
and
okay?
can you just explain the third picture again? Sorry, with the
So
brahmachari.
this person is looking at the book, Mataji, and he's holding the book in his hand. He may not buy it.
Okay.
He's just looking, and this brahmachari is talking to this person. Just maybe 5 minute interaction will say, "Bhaiya, I don't want the book." Possible, right? But he's still got the Gyat Sukriti just by looking at the book, touching the book, listening some words about Krishna. And this brahmachari may go away after a few minutes, but this person has got that starting point.
Oh, so many people just come and they don't want the book, so they don't want. We offer them, if they want like the book marathon, yeah, jo,
They just touch the books,
they,
Mataji, by
they'll
touching
still
them.
they'll get the sukriti because
Still
they
they
are.
will get the Sukriti. Amoglina Prabhuji was explaining in one class, very nice thing, and I really appreciate that, and that should be applied in all our life. So Amoglina Prabhu asked devotees just to inspire them to go out on book marathon because you said the word, so I remembered the past time. He was saying, so what's the strike rate? A strike rate means if you show the book to 100 people, how many really buy? So what was the response? Someone said maybe 5%. Out of 100 people, maybe 5 people will actually buy the book. So he was saying the strike rate is 5%. But then he cut himself off and he said, no, strike rate is 100%. What? But only 5 people bought the book. But no, he said 100%. And devotees like, how come? He said, when the first time you approach a person, say this person in black suit, for example, right? First time you say, no, 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 I don't want book, I don't want book. But he's already spoken to the devotee. Devotee has said, Hare Krishna, have a good day. He might have touched the book. Second time, he will meet with some devotee somewhere on the way, right? And he said, please take the book. He said, I already said no. Why are you coming back again? Okay, no problem, sir. Hare Krishna. He has heard Hare Krishna second time. Third time, fourth time, fifth time, the 10th time, person will say, Acha Baba, give me the book. How much? 70 rupees. He may not read it. Just to get rid of you, he will say, Acha Mataji, Prabhuji, give me the book. He will give you 70 rupees and Hare Krishna. And he will put the book in the bookshelf somewhere. Never read it again. So he's saying, one day, he will get into touch with Krishna's devotees. I heard a short clip, trying to remember the name of the speaker, Mahavishnu Das, if I'm not wrong. He was explaining one little guy, 7, 8 year old boy. He was in Mumbai, Jeb Katra, pickpocket. He was a pickpocket. So one time he got caught and he was jailed. Inside the jail, he was given a task of sweeping the floor. So while sweeping the floor, he was emptying the garbage bag. In the garbage bag, on the side, someone had thrown Back to Godhead magazine. And when you are looking at Back to Godhead magazine, I'll tell you one more thing. That this boy was so comfortable in the jail because outside he will hardly get a place to sleep or something to eat. He was very comfortable in the jail because he will get 2 times prasad, not prasad, food, plus a place to stay. So he will go outside, commit the offense again, and come back again and again. Knowingly, he will commit the offense in front of a police wala so that he get caught and go inside the jail because his meal was fully confirmed there. His sleeping place was confirmed. Anyway, so he was into this habit of coming to jail again and again. Anyway, so he saw Prabhupada photo back to Godhead. He was wearing a golden watch. So he thought, oh, this is a nice person. I should steal this golden watch. He looks like a sadhu. What a sadhu is wearing this golden watch? Huh? So he said, next time when I go out, I'll steal this watch from this sadhu. That's what his thought was. So he'd look at the address when he came out of the jail. He went there and devotees explained him, Prabhupada is not here. This is in Mumbai. But Prabhupada will come in few days or few months. So he was very small guy and he said, he lied. I'm also devotee of Krishna, this and that. So this English people, they didn't know much, right? They thought, oh, you're a boy, he's an orphan, he's also a devotee. Okay, come and stay with us. So he stayed with the devotees and he started chanting. A small boy, 8-year-old. And later on, when he still had the desire to meet Prabhupada for what? To steal the watch. He only had one desire. Anyway, he stayed in the temple. He was doing the local purchases because he was the only one speaking Hindi. No other person in the temple residing that time spoke Hindi. And when these foreigners will go out to purchase, they will get cheated because for 1 rupee thing, the dukanwala will say 10 rupees. So this boy became the purchaser for the temple because he will negotiate, get the best price. Anyway, finally, he heard that Prabhupada has come to Hyderabad. So because he had a strong desire to meet Prabhupada for a purpose, so he said to temple president, he came to know that Prabhupada is in Hyderabad. Why don't you send me to Hyderabad? And temple president said, but Prabhupada is coming to Mumbai in 2 weeks' time. He said, no, send me now. And temple president said, no, there's a lot of work, you cannot go. So boy said, if you don't send me, I'll start stealing again. So he forced temple president to issue him a train ticket. And he went with some devotees. But when he met Prabhupada, he did not steal because by the time, he had done some sukriti, some changes have happened. So Prabhupada, many times we hear, when Prabhupada met him, long story short, he said, we should not steal anyone's property. Do you want my watch? And Prabhupada gave him his watch right on the spot. And he became Haridas Prabhu later on, a very senior devotee. And he tells his own pastime. It's not like, so he said, I was a thief. I had no one in the world. But this is how he came. From the jail, he got back to Godhead magazine and desire of stealing Prabhupada's watch. And he ended up becoming Prabhupada's disciple. So this is how the Agyat Sukriti, Priya Mataji, will take that person forward. Now, in this case, Haridas Prabhu, it was pretty speedy because he was intense. But in other cases, it may take long. So, and for us as well, it's a lot of hope because one day, all our anarthas will go and we will become pure devotees because pure devotional service is very, very strong. It's just a matter of time. Gauranga Prabhu said, everyone who has come to the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is guaranteed to go back to Godhead. Guaranteed. So all of us, we should never get discouraged. We are going to go back to Godhead. And then Prabhu said, it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Okay, so generally, this natural attraction comes from devotional service executed in previous lives. So it's a continuation. So this is a chart you can see. It's a beautiful chart. It's put by Dhanurdhar Maharaj. And he explains attraction for devotional service and execution of devotional service, they go in the circle. So if you execute a devotional service, you perform a devotional service, your attraction to perform devotional service will grow. Yes, Prabhu, for example, goes to Mangala Aarti every day, every day, every day, every day. So attraction goes for Lord. We never go, never go, or hardly go. The attraction is not there. So once you have attraction, you perform. Prasanatma Prabhu, same thing. So they perform a certain particular devotional service and their attraction grows. Attraction grows. A person who's going to Mangala Aarti for say 10 years, even for 2 years, you ask him not to go, I'll give you, $100,000. Will you go? You may not go physically, in the mind you will still be going there. Because you cannot stop. You cannot stop. You're not going for money. You're going for Krishna's pleasure. And from Krishna's pleasure, you derive your pleasure. Okay, but how does this cycle will start if you have not performed a devotional service? So you don't have attraction. If you don't have attraction, you'll not perform. You see, the cycle, once it's started, it's like a self-going cycle. But how do you start the cycle? The next picture, Maharaj says, causeless mercy of a devotee comes and breaks this cycle. Someone has to give you causeless devotional service. Someone has to pray for you. Someone has to give you prasad. Someone has to chant Hare Krishna in your ears, knowingly or unknowingly. Somewhere you have to touch Bhagavad Gita. So pure devotee gives causeless devotional service and you enter into execution of devotion service. And as soon as you execute, you get attracted. One time you go for vegetable cutting, you go back to next Sunday again, next Sunday. Okay, forget about vegetable cutting, eating prasadam. I went to Hare Krishna temple first time for eating prasad. It was very nice. My attraction grew, not for prasad, not for Krishna, but for prasad. I went again and again and again and again, and that's it. It's still eating. So causeless mercy for devotees is extremely important. In 10th canto of Bhagavatam, it says, Bhakti sanjayate bhakti. So what's the cause of bhakti? Bhakti is the cause of bhakti. What? Yes, bhakti is the cause of bhakti. But how do you get the bhakti? Bhaktas have bhakti. From bhaktas, you get bhakti. And then from that bhakti, the seed of that bhakti, you get more bhakti. ब्रह्मांड भ्रमित कौन भाग्यवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाए भक्ति लता Beej. Beej. That bija comes from the kripa of Krishna and Guru. So when your heart is ready, then Krishna will send you. Chatya Guru, inside Krishna, will send you this external Guru. This happens. Taste. What does taste means? Not the taste of gulab jamun or pizza. Taste means attraction for Krishna. So how much taste we have for Krishna, that means how much attraction we have for Krishna, how much sacrifice we can do for Krishna. The greater the attraction to Krishna, the more advanced devotee is. Devotional service is obtained by causeless mercy of a devotee and by performing Agyat Sukriti. Okay, is this clear? This pictures are very nice. Okay, now coming back to Rupa Goswami's definition. So what does he say? Sadhana bhakti. We can Tatra sadhan bhakti. Define sadhana bhakti. Action of the senses that produces the state of bhava is called sadhana bhakti. Simple. That's what Rupa Goswami says. Action of senses. Now, how does it work? We'll expand, but very simple. Action of the senses. So whatever senses we have, if you put in the service of Krishna, which will lead you to attain the state of bhava, that is sadhana bhakti. And this is what we are all trying to do, isn't it? By chanting, by going to temple, performing some devotional service at home, towards our Guru Maharaj or devotees, we are trying to get the state of bhava. So this is called sadhana bhakti. The state of bhava that is attained, sadhyata, is an eternal sthai bhava. Now you cannot say, oh, is this like another post-graduation, Prabhuji or Mataji? No, it's not. It's an eternal sthai bhava. Once achieved, you cannot revert it back. In the example of Bharat Maharaj as well, when he became deer and something, but his bhava was not lost, isn't it? He just went further. Neha vikarma shosti pratyavayo na vidyate. It cannot be lost. They say devotion is the only thing which the account is undeletable and undepletable. It cannot be deleted. It can be frozen sometimes. When does it get frozen? Anyone knows?
Offenses, Prabhu.
Vaishnava Aparadha. So if you perform Vaishnava Aparadha, Krishna will not take your money away, devotional money. He will freeze your account. You have $1 million, you'll still have $1 million. You cannot access it. So that means you cannot appreciate Vaishnavas for that amount of time. But if you have performed any amount of devotional service, you will start again from that point. Whenever you have asked for forgiveness from Vaishnavas and other offenses are removed. Bharat Maharaj was repenting in his next life. What did I do? And that repentance made him a better devotee. Okay, so it's a sthai bhava which is not created but simply manifest within the soul by spiritual energy of the Lord. So it's not we are bringing something from outside. It's already there. We are uncovering. Cheto darpan marjanam. So we're just doing marjan, cleaning the darpan which we already there. And when the darpan is clean, then we are able to see ourselves as well as Krishna. Okay, now Prabhupada expands on this engagement. So the definition says action of the senses, right? So now Prabhupada expand on this. What is this action of senses? So Prabhupada gives a simple example. First, devotion, service, and practice that we all know. Srila Prabhupada, the practice means to engage the mind and senses in a particular type of work for anything, right? If you're practicing driving, you're practicing cooking. Some people are very good cooks or some people are very good writers. They practice. So you're engaging your mind and senses. But if you do the same engagement of mind and service, engagement of mind and senses in the service of Krishna, that becomes sadhana bhakti. So sadhana is practice. You know, in music also, Lata Mangeshkar or others as well. They do sadhana. They say they are doing sadhana. Zakir Hussain, for example, doing sadhana. So they call it sadhana actually, intense practice. Hari Prasad Chaurasia, for example, Ravi Shankar, sadhana, they're all doing sadhana. But when you do the sadhana, practice for Krishna's attainment, it becomes sadhana bhakti. So from sadhana, many times we are working hard, and Radhanath Maharaj will say, your work can also become a part of your sadhana. So you cannot separate sometimes. So you cannot separate your family, you cannot separate your work. And Maharaj says, and all the philosophy says, spiritualize it. Do it for Krishna, work for Krishna, look after your family for Krishna. So that itself becomes bhakti. It's not a separate endeavor. So from sadhana to sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means to engage our mind and senses in some work for Krishna. This work brings a manifestation of bhava bhakti. Is that clear so far? So we are engaging our mind and senses. And initially, mind may not be engaged, we engage our senses. Sripalad Prabhu used to say, just show up. Show up to the temple, basically. And then everything else will follow. Just come to the temple. Have a darshan of deities. Do pranam to the deities. Pranam to Prabhupada. And do some service. Everything else will follow. Okay. Now Prabhupada expands on it. Practice means employing our senses in some particular type of work. Therefore, devotional service in practice means utilizing our different sensory organs in the service to Krishna. Some of the senses are meant for acquiring knowledge. As we know, we have Karmendriya, we have Jnanendriya, so Prabhupada is just writing that. Some are meant for executing the conclusions of our thinking, willing, and feeling. So practice means employing both the mind and the senses in practical devotional service. This practice is not for developing something artificial. And Prabhupada gives a beautiful example. A child learns or practices to walk. This walking is not unnatural. The walking capacity is there originally in the child, and simply by a little practice, he walks very nicely. As we know, many children are there. Initially, they don't know how to walk, but they start walking when they turn 1.5. Janki is walking pretty fast, I guess, by now. She's almost 2 now. So, but initially, she could not walk. But later on, she became 1.5. Then, by the help of parents, grandparents, she started walking. But can you, Vijay Gopi Mataji, teach Janki how to fly?
No, she doesn't have the capacity to fly.
Right. So we understand with the example, right? This child, this human child, you can say, has the capacity to walk only, not fly. But a baby bird, then mother bird is teaching how to fly. And she can fly very successfully. She may be, I don't know, 1 month old, she'll be flying in the sky. And humans, you can, 20 साल का हो गया, अभी तक उड़ना भी नहीं आया. You're 20-year-old. Look at the 2 months baby bird. She is flying. You cannot say that because the capacity is not there in the human child. A fish, she cannot walk. She swims. Here we are teaching our kids how to swim, and still after 6th year, they're not so good swimmer. Because the capacity is not there. We're trying to develop. Every week we go, pay $25 per class. Child still not learning. Half an hour they give, 25 minutes they give, and you have to come back. Because the capacity is not there. The fishes don't go for any classes. Shark goes for any classes. Coming to this Willoughby Leisure Center for a swim class. Going for a higher level practice. Baby shark comes out, starts swimming. So similarly, humans have that tendency to walk. So the example is very appropriate. Prabhupada is saying. So similarly, we all have tendency to be a devotee, innate. This is already there in us. But we just have to practice. And by practice, you may be walking very, very nicely. Simply by little practice, he walks very nicely. In the devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the natural instinct of every living entity. So beautiful example. I think it's in your assignment as well. So please remember this. Very nice. Now Prabhupada says sadhana bhakti to develop our innate capacity for devotional service through sadhana bhakti. It's the first step, but it's a very, very important step. Someone else would like to read this? Anyone?
Can I read, Prabhu?
Go for it, Mataji.
Are you reading, Priya Mataji?
No, I can read Mataji if you want. It's okay. I'm reading myself, but you can read if you want.
No, Prabhu, please go.
Okay. Anyone?
To develop our innate capacity for devotional service through sadhana bhakti. Every living entity under the spell of material energy is held to be an abnormal condition of madness. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, generally the conditioned soul is mad because he is always engaged in activities which are at the cause of bondage and suffering. Spirit soul in its original condition is joyful, blissful, eternal, and full of knowledge. Only by his implication in material activities has he become miserable, temporary, and full of ignorance. This is due to vikarma. Vikarma means action which should not be done. Thank you, Prabhu.
That's the next paragraph in continuation. Maybe Vijay Gopi Mataji, you can do.
Thank you, Prabhu. Therefore, we must practice sadhana bhakti, which means to offer Mangala Arti, deity worship, in the morning, to refrain from certain material activities, to offer obeisances to the spiritual master, and to follow many other rules and regulations, which will be discussed here one after another. These practices will help one become cured of madness. As a man's mental disease is cured by the directions of a psychiatrist, so this sadhana bhakti cures the conditioned soul of his madness under the spell of Maya, material illusion.
Yes, very beautifully Prabhupada is starting. If we perform sadhana bhakti, our madness will go away. Huh? The jaundice, if you remember Rupa Goswami NOI, jaundice will go down slowly. Huh? Kramedevi praliyate. So slowly when we perform sadhana bhakti, it will happen. Now there are two divisions of sadhana bhakti. Now everyone has heard the terms. We'll just describe here. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga sadhana bhakti. So Vaidhi means Vidhi Vidhan ki bhakti. Vidhi Vidhan means rules and regulations. You're performing some rules and regulations. And Raganuga is spontaneous devotional service. I've given this example, sadhana bhakti, very sadhana bhakti, everyone knows. This is the example from Ramayana when sages got automatically attracted towards Ram, sages of Dandakaranya. Huh? So we'll read about them when we arrive to Raganuga Bhakti, but this is a very famous example of Raganuga Bhakti, a spontaneous attraction towards Lord. They didn't have to perform any extra activities. They just saw Lord Ram spontaneously attracted towards him. The main distinction between them means Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti is their source of inspiration. In Raganuga Bhakti, the inspiration comes from the natural attraction to devotion service. Example is, children are naturally attracted towards play, isn't it? Study becomes unnatural for them. So mama has to say, beta, ho gayi khel, abhi padhai karo. Huh? So you have done enough playing, now you have to study. Do you think study is natural from them, Raganuga for them? It's exactly other way, huh? So bache will always go out for playing, naturally attracted. Prabhupada also gives example, a young boy is naturally attracted towards young girl, or a young girl is attracted naturally. You don't have to give training to them, isn't it? It's just happened naturally. This is called a spontaneous Raganuga, you can say. In Vaidhi Bhakti, there is no such attraction, and one must rely upon another source of inspiration, which can be the orders of a spiritual master. A spiritual master will say, now you have to perform Ekadashi. Okay, I don't have attraction towards it. You have to come for Mangalarati. I don't have attraction for it, but I'm trying. Solamala. Oh my God, such a big task. 16 rounds chanting, huh? This one mala feels like, 10,000 hours of mala. Very, very difficult. No, but I have taken a commitment to chant 16 rounds on a daily basis. I will chant. Yen ken prakarin manah Krishna niveshayat. Somehow or other, I will try to put my mind in Krishna. So although these are all sometimes feels very mechanical, very external, but still we do it because we have taken a commitment. Second one, someone else would like to read? Acharya Mishra.
Prabhu?
Okay, Mata, you go. Yes.
When we surrender to the spiritual master and begin the execution of regulative devotional service, that is bhajan kriya, then there is the stage of anartha nivritti, the vanquishing of the anarthas. Then there is a stage of nishtha, steadiness, because the anarthas are greatly reduced. They don't disturb much. Then
Just one
comes
second, Mataji. So we'll read about all the 9 stages in later part of NOT. So we're just reading at this stage one by one, just the translation. We'll read later in much more detail. Yes, Mataji.
Then comes ruchi, where there is real taste without any distractions. In this stage, we have more taste for devotional service than anything else. Raganuga Bhakti can begin in this stage or in the next stage. It comes at the
So Raganuga Bhakti starts at the stage of ruchi. So everything else before Ruchi, whatever we do, Anartha Nivritti, Bhajan Kriya and all that, Sadhu Sangha, this is all under Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So our anarthas are not completely gone. Ruchi means we have asakti for the Lord. Ruchi and asakti and further stages. Yes, Mataji.
It comes at the advanced end of sadhana bhakti. This is the advanced stage of madhyama adhikari. Then comes the stage of bhava, which thickens in the stage of prema, where the chanting, hearing, and remembering continues all through these stages.
Yeah. So not that a person is in prema stage will not chant Hare Krishna. He will also chant Hare Krishna. Gopis are chanting Krishna. Gauranga Prabhu was saying in one class, when Krishna once went to the room of Arjun, he could hear Krishna, Krishna, Krishna while Arjun was sleeping. And our problem is, so Arjun was chanting, he was saying while he was sleeping, and we sleep while we chant. That's the only difference between Arjun and us. Exactly. He's sleeping. He's so much conscious of Krishna, so much conscious of Krishna. He doesn't have to practice this separately, while we have to, because we are just in a neophyte state. Okay, last one. Maybe Navavtar Prabhu, would you like to read? Third one.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We should not think of Vaidhi Bhakti in a belittling way. Vaidhi Bhakti is an exchange of love between the devotee and the Lord, which impels a person to place himself under the order of Guru and Shastra. Thus, Vaidhi Bhakti is a division of pure devotional service.
Hari Bol, it's a very big statement. So, Vaidhi Bhakti is a division of pure devotional service. So, all of us are under pure devotional service. It's sometimes very hard to believe, and especially for sometimes when we deal with other Vaishnavas or Vaishnavis, we're like, really? They are pure devotees as well. And I think I've shared that Bhanu Maharaj said, as far as our goal is pure, we are not pure at this stage, our sadhana is not pure, but the goal is to achieve Krishna Prema, pure Krishna Prema without any Anya Vilashta Shunyam. As far as that is there, we are all under that umbrella. And Maharaj said the example of unripe mango to a ripe mango. So it looks a little hard, but this is a very bold, big statement. So that's why we say we should never offend a devotee, because they are also very, very dear to Krishna. They're chanting Hare Krishna. How many people are chanting Hare Krishna in the world? So they are one of them. So we have to be very, very careful here. We should not think Vaidhi sadhana, oh, you are the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. No, no. It's also a part of pure devotional service. Okay. Now, Vaidhi. So we have heard the definition of sadhana bhakti. We heard the divisions of sadhana bhakti. Now we are coming down to Vaidhi sadhana bhakti definition given by Rupa Goswami. This is 126. So, definition Vaidhi sadhana, where the actions of bhakti arises not from attainment of raga, but by the teaching of scriptures, that is called Vaidhi bhakti. Very simple. Coming from scriptures. Senior devotee said you should chant 16 rounds, you should come to Mangala Aarti, you should follow Ekadashi, you should have a picture of Krishna at home where you can offer your all the food. This is all from scriptures. We don't have any ruchi in this, but we follow somehow or other. Right? So that is called Vaidhi Bhakti. Srila Prabhupada, when there is no attachment or no spontaneous loving service to the Lord. And the famous example is when the alarm goes off at 3:30 a.m. in the morning on Ekadashi, how many of get up straight away? You at least snooze for once or twice. I do. At least two times snoozing. Mohit Prabhu does not snooze at all. He just gets up immediately without even alarm. So, many devotees are like that. So, when you have a spontaneous attraction, you don't need alarm. I heard many devotees, they get up at 2 o'clock every day without much alarm system. So, they just get up 2:15. Their body clock will wake them up. So, they have some attraction. So, not a spontaneous loving service to the Lord, or one is engaged in the service of Lord simply out of obedience to the order of a spiritual master or in pursuance of the scripture. Such obligatory service is called Vaidhi Bhakti. Very, very clear definition Prabhupada is putting here. This is the example of Vaidhi Bhakti. Many of us are also in the same position. So we sleep while we chant. Someone was saying the class as a joke, saying, Prabhuji, should I wake you up after you have finished chanting? This chanting. So while sleeping and then they get up, oh, 16 mala ho gaya hoga, 16 run would have been done by now. And they don't know whether they were sleeping or not sleeping. I heard a little clip from Madhava's Just joking. So this Prabhuji was sleeping while he was chanting. So while he had done, I think 4 rounds or something. So Mataji saw Prabhuji sleeping. So Mataji pulled all the rounds down. And when he woke up, he said, "Oh, I haven't done any rounds." He said, "Okay, whatever." He started chanting again. So basically, the message was you should not sleep while you chant. Chant attentively as best as possible. Okay, Srila Rupa Goswami illustrates this with a quote from Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukdev Goswami advised Maharaj Parikshit, this is 215. My dear king, if you want to be fearless in meeting your death next week, then you must immediately begin the process of hearing and chanting and remembering God. So this is Shukdev Goswami speaking with Parikshit Maharaj. Now this is an example of Vaidhi Bhakti, because just an example, don't go on the characters as yet. As an example, because the spiritual master is saying to the disciple that if you want to be fearless, you do this, isn't it? Many times we buy some insurance policies. Prabhuji, if you pay a premium of $30 a month, you will get this much. So you're not attached to something else, but you're paying premium to get something higher. So what you are paying the price of sadhana right now to get something very, very higher. But now we should not think Maharaj Parikshit is a pure devotee. So this example is just given for us to understand Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. It's not for Parikshit Maharaj. He's a pure devotee. So we have to understand. But the example, as per the shloka, is given. If you want to be fearless, what you should do is start the process of hearing and chanting and remembering God right now. So because if you do that, you'll become fearless. Okay. Last one, I guess. What is the chief regulative principle? So you're saying, okay, all these vidhi vidhan, rules and regulations. So the famous example, smritabhya sattam Vishnu vismrityo na jat chidayam. I'm sure everyone knows this. So what is the goal of all these vidhi vidhan? You should always remember Vishnu and please do not forget Vishnu. So this is a very beautiful thing. So when we are following all these rules and regulations, we should not forget the goal of rules and regulations. So sarve vidhi nisheda, sure, etayor eva kinkara. Every other vidhi and nished is kinkara, servant of this goal. So if the servant is not following the master, means this goal, the servant is not good. So that vidhi vedana is not good, which does not make you remember Krishna. Big storm is going outside. Okay. All the instructions of the Acharya serve to fulfill this purpose. What is vidhi? Meaning rules or orders. Nisheda is prohibitions or regulations. Avoidance of sin, abandonment of apathy towards Lord, atonement of sins. Apathy means you become indifferent to the Lord. Like, I don't need Lord. Why do I need this devotion? Why do I need Bhagavad Gita? Apathy. Apathy means not against. Apathy means indifferent. Indifferent. Bhagwan kyun chahiye? All those things, they all come under Nished. No, Bhagwan chahiye. You need Krishna. Yes, Rasanand Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I think you have explained it before also, but I just wanted to remember. What is the difference between always remember Vishnu and never forget him? It
Yes.
looks both the same.
Yeah, it looks exactly same, but the point here is when same point is repeated in the scriptures in do's and don'ts, just to emphasize that point a lot more. So always remember Vishnu, that is itself is enough actually. Nothing else needs to be done. But there has to be a negative statement as well, which supports the previous statement, just to emphasize, solidify, cementify. You cannot forget. So the primary statement here is satatam, is pratyavya satam Vishnu. Actually, it is enough. It is already including the second line. When we say Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, everything is included actually. But then we say Kalau, Nastev, Nastev, Nastev. Actually, first line includes the second line automatically. But just to re-emphasize, we say never forget Vishnu, because if you forget Vishnu, you will be under the spell of Maya. So come back to statement one. So it's the same inclusive statement, but just a re-emphasis of that. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So Srila Rupa Goswami quotes an example from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:27-49. If people simply manage to worship or remember the Lord, then automatically they become very happy within this world as well as in the next. So Krishna is speaking with Uddhava. So Rupa Goswami keeps taking the references from Bhagavatam. So he's saying, not only I am saying it, Padma Purana is saying it, Krishna is also speaking with Uddhava. Just by you remembering me, worshipping me, Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru, they will become very happy in this life and the next. And this is what we want, isn't it? We all want to be happy this life and the next life. Huh? Okay, the essence of Varnashram is to please Krishna. All Vedic societies ultimately set up so that Krishna is remembered and pleased. Okay, chapter 2 is finished. Anyone has any questions or comments which we can take? So this is one of the best verses. We should have this verse hanging on our wall or on our phone so that we do that, because we forget. I forget. I'm raising my hand. First one. We remember so many other things except Lord Vishnu. So we should try and help each other. Yes, Ujjwala Samataji or Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, previously we discussed about Jnana Mishra Bhakti. I want to ask about that. So, you had said at that time that along with the bhakti process, there is some inclination towards jnana.
Yes.
So, jnana, are we referring to the impersonal jnana?
Yes, Mataji. So we still have this recognition of self. Krishna is there, Krishna Bhakti is there, but if I get liberation, that will be so nice, because you have some inclination towards jnana. Now that can be Brahmavadis or Mayavadis. I think we already discussed about in chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita earlier. But some inclination towards jnana is there. It can be 80-20, 70-30. Bhakti is there, no doubt. But you still have, ego in yourself that, I am something and I need to achieve something. Because jnanis are not interested in serving Krishna, although they may serve Krishna, as we have heard in 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita towards the end. But their whole purpose to serve Krishna is to serve themselves. I need to get liberation, because this material world is totally frustrating. So who needs to get sukha? I. How do I get sukha? Through serving this deity of Radha Gopinath. Okay, I'll serve Radha Gopinath, so that Radha Gopinath gives sukha to me. But the bhakta will say, I give sukha to Radha Gopinath no matter what Radha Gopinath is arranging in my life. There's a huge difference in two devotees serving Radha Gopinath. And that's what happened. Karm Mishra Bhakti. I'm serving Radha Gopinath, but I have inclination. Ek acha job to milega na. I'll get a good job. See, my health problems are going on. Radha Gopinath. So again, it's not wrong when we present our mindset, but if the goal set is like that, that becomes Karm Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti. It's not Shuddha Bhakti. Now, for us, generally speaking, because after reading Prabhupada books, you cannot have that as a goal. That can be as an ongoing desire. I have a health issue, and Krishna, if you desire, please solve it, right? It's an ongoing desire. It's not like that's a goal, but they have that as a goal. And they use bhakti to achieve that personal ulterior goal. And that's where it becomes Jnana Mishra Bhakti. And for our case, it's not a goal. It can be. We all go through problems and we want a smooth life, a smooth journey, which never happens. But that can be. Krishna, are you still looking? Are you still looking at Sydney, or you have forgotten Sydney in your chart? Please. So that happens. One time, one proper disciple, I can't remember his name. Anyway, my Guru Maharaj was telling in a class, so he was telling Krishna, that verse is there in Kunti Maharani prayers 1:825. Vibhada Shantuta Shashwat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. Krishna, send me problems, so that I can get purified. So the Maharaj was praying to Krishna, and maybe he was sharing in his class. That Krishna, please purify me, please purify me. And Maharaj was saying, which is fine, right? Please purify me, but slowly. Slowly. Sometimes it becomes too much. So Krishna, just go a little slow. We all feel like that. Krishna is just too much. I can't handle. So again, our goal is not here, even in those situations. I forget Krishna and just resolve problem. No. But Krishna, what's happening? What's happening? So we still consider under the umbrella of pure devotional service versus those who still have a goal of that. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. And that's why on the journey, Vaishnava association is so important, because you never know when your mind will change your goal if you go alone on the path. Huh? Because our devotees are there to put a stick on our head, Hey, where are you? I haven't seen you for so long. Come to Krishna, serve Krishna, do something for Krishna. Huh? Then our mind will be aligned. The moment you leave devotee association, then your mind will become, see, I'm doing bhakti for 20 years. Krishna is still doing that to me. Becomes difficult, which we see in case of Bharat Maharaj. Okay, let's move to the third chapter. We'll see how much we can do, and we'll continue in the next class. So the third chapter, Prabhupada, entitled Eligibility of the Candidate. What should be your eligibility? So first, in the chapter 2, he was talking about what is sadhana bhakti, what's the type of sadhana bhakti, what's the definition of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Now he's saying what will make you eligible so that you can accept the devotional service. The eligibility of the candidate for accepting devotional service. This is what Prabhupada will discuss here. Now, this again, Prabhupada lines, I'll just read as it is. People generally think of renunciation, vairagya, as a prerequisite for beginning a spiritual life. And you see in India, if someone starts chanting Hare Krishna, Are, sannyas le liya kya? Like, sannyas is a halwa pudi, anyone can eat any time. Huh? Oh, your son is going to become a sannyasi now. Right? Do you even know the meaning of sannyas? He will put the tilak on, and every neighbor, every chacha, mosi, nani, tao will come and call you, tell you, embarrass you. No, your son is going to. If he starts smoking, Hare, he's becoming advanced. And when he starts chanting Hare Krishna, अब तो लड़का बिगड़ गया है हाथ से निकल गया बचा लो is going to ISKCON. Because that's what their pre-thinking mindset is. Vairagya is the renunciation, or it will result in Vairagya. I remember even in my home, I was not allowed to read Bhagavad Gita. When I was very young, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam will bring detachment. First, we don't know the definition of detachment and attachment, and we jump to the conclusion. If you read Mahabharat will happen. If you keep Bhagavad Gita in home, Mahabharat will happen. Just by keeping Bhagavad Gita in the house, they will say, Mahabharat ho jayegi. Already there's so much Mahabharat going on. Why do you want more Mahabharat? So don't keep Bhagavad Gita in home. Now, these sort of dialogues, I'm sure many of you would have heard in your houses or in your extended families because of this pre-notion, Vairagya. But we don't know the definition of Vairagya. Rupa Goswami gives the definition of Vairagya in chapter 14 or 13. But for devotional service, it is not at all, actually. Rather, Prabhupada will say, in fact, it can be an impediment to the bhakti if you're too much detached. If one is too detached from emotional and sensual activities, he will not be inclined to devotional service, because devotional service entails active use of senses and emotions. If you don't love your family, you don't love your neighbor, how would you love Krishna? He encompasses everything. So you have to love someone to understand what that emotion is. Radhanath Maharaj said, we all of us, no matter who you are and where you are, have two tendencies: to love someone and to be loved by someone. We all want some love from someone, and we render some service to someone. And if you don't have anyone to render service to, you get a cat and dog. That's what people are doing. So hard to render service to humans these days. So many cats and dogs. You go to park these days, so many dogs are there. Now, we don't hate dogs. I'm not saying that, but you know what I'm saying? Humans are less, dogs are. Even in the prams, I have seen people carrying a dog and a cat. They want to serve. They're carrying the cat in a pram very nicely. $1,000 pram. They're putting a nice cat there. Because it's hard to get loyal humans these days. Practically, the species is going to be extinct. Loyalty, integrity, we are losing. So people are scared in forming relationships. But if you don't have actual sense of emotion, you can't love Krishna. Now, another end can be too much attached, right? So one end can be too much detached, one end can be too much detached. So Prabhupada writes, this is the first line of this chapter actually. On account of his association with Mahatma, this is how the Prabhupada opens the chapter. Account of association with Mahatmas, one may attain little bit of attraction, which we were reading the previous chapter with the chart. But at the same time, one may remain very much attached to fruitive activities and material sense enjoyment. This happens, right? We may have little attraction for Krishna, but we still have lot of attachment for material activities. But if you have unflinching attraction to Krishna, you become an eligible candidate for discharging devotional service. So you can still remain initially in your family life, work life, and all those things. But if you have some attraction for Krishna, slowly that some become big. As Keshav Maharaj says in his classes, Akhand Rasa Prabhu will know, devotees are the agents of Vaman Dev. Huh? We keep saying that. Huh? They say, thoda sa Krishna bas add kar lo. You keep having your, this deity and that deity. Bas thoda sa, ek mala, one mala jap. One mala ho gaya, two mala jap. Bhagavad Gita, then you join Bhakti Raksha, then you join Bhakti Shastri. And before you realize, Krishna has taken over your whole house. You have little cupboard in your two plates and two katoris. This is our cupboard. Rest is all Krishna. You can't wash the dish here. Where is the scrubber for Krishna? Where is the dishwashing liquid for Krishna? This sink is for Krishna. This sink for us. You are left with literally like two plates and two glasses. इसमें पानी पी सकते, इसमें नहीं पी सकते. And if someone outsider comes, he becomes like a mad. What is Krishna's and what's yours? ये वाला हमारा है, ये भगवान का है. Krishna, before takes over your whole life, whole life, which is beautiful. Okay, so in other words, this Bhurijan Prabhu says that even if one is still attached to material life, he can begin practicing devotional service if he simply has some attraction for Krishna. And how do you get some attraction, taste for Krishna? By the causeless mercy of devotees. So, coming of devotee in our life is very, very rare and very beautiful. And Rupa Goswami gives some references. 11:28. I'll read the verse. This is such a beautiful verse. I love it. Yadrachaya mat kathadav jat shraddhastu yah puman na nirvinno na ati sakto bhakti yogosya siddhi daha. Beautiful verse. It's very, very simple. If you read it, you'll know the meaning. Yadrachaya. Yadrachaya means out of a blue moon, all of a sudden, yadrachya, which doesn't have a particular cause, out of a blue moon, it's somehow or other Prabhupada writes, mat kathado, Krishna is speaking to the world, meri katha mein, in my katha, jat shraddhas, if he gets shraddha, if a person somehow or other gets shraddha in my katha, to yah puman means human beings, na nirvinno. And what's the characteristic Krishna is saying to Uddhava? Nirvinno means not too much detached. Na ati sapto, not too much attached. So he's not too detached, he's not attached, not too much attached, but he has some shraddha in my katha. Oh, this Bhagavatam katha is very nice. I don't understand too much. And he comes back to your family life. Then you go back to Bhagavatam katha again. Then you come back to family life. Bhagavatam katha again. Slowly, you'll see the ruchi in katha is increasing, material desires are decreasing. So what will happen? The result, Krishna says, Bhakti Yogosya Siddhita, he will become perfect. He will become perfect. I'll read the translation by Prabhupada. If somehow or other by good fortune one develops faith in hearing and chanting my glories, such a person being neither disgusted with nor very much attached to material life should achieve perfection through the path of loving devotion to me. Bhakti Yoga, the clear word is written in the verse actually. Very beautiful. What you need? Little Shraddha in the Katha. This Bhagavad Gita verse is very nice. It makes sense. It makes sense. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said, what is preaching? In one line, Maharaj said in this context, he said, breaking the faith in material life is called preaching. So what preachers should do? They should break people's faith in material life because they have faith in their bank account, in their intelligence, in their political connections. Break their faith. That's preaching. And then they will have faith in Krishna. And because they have too much faith in their material assets, they don't have faith in Krishna, right? If you go to a very rich person's house and try to explain philosophy, he will just look at you with a smile. We've gone to some programs, some rich people will be sitting ऐसा करके पीछे बैठे आराम से सोफे पे. Some people lie down, someone talking. There's some Panditji has come speaking something nonsense, and I am so successful. I don't need all this. And you'll see a person who has some problems, he will listen to you very carefully because he has some problems. So actually, he is more fortunate. He is receptive to the katha. That person, Radhanath Maharaj, gave a lecture, and devotees entitled that lecture, The Prisoners of Success. Maharaj said, they are the prisoners of their success. Because if they were not successful, they would not be in the prison house. They will be out in the world. They cannot receive Krishna Katha. Anyway, second reference, which is very, very famous, Brahmand Brahmite Kaun Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, Bhakti Lata Bij. Now, Avatar Prabhu, would you like to read the translation? Which we have already read, right?
Hare Krishna. I read once.
Okay, someone else can read. Prasanatha Prabhu, would you like to? Sorry, Prabhu,
Okay, Prabhu, yes, ma'am. So Sanskrit, Prabhu, and translation.
Just the translation, Prabhuji.
Okay. According to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems, and some are going down into the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with the bona fide spiritual master by grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. Hare Krishna.
So this is, thank you, Prabhuji. So if we are doing some association with Mahatmas, we are in safe hands. And if you do more, obviously, very, very good. So Prabhupada, right? Association with Mahatmas who are sent person, Prabhupada says, sent person engaged in devotional service is the key to success. Huh? So serving pure devotees. Now Prabhupada explains three classes of people, which we all know from NOI. So I'll just go this section pretty quickly. We have read all this, but I've taken the words from NOD just because, Prabhupada may have written more things. So I'll read as we go. So Uttam, Madhyam, and Kanishta, they are categorized. One category is faith, one category is knowledge. Now here knowledge is not Bhakti Pratikul Gyan, is Bhakti Anukul Gyan. So as per faith, Uttama, very strong faith, he is fully convinced and can convince others as well. If you see Madhama, he has a strong faith, he is fully convinced. He may not be able to convince others, but he has full faith. Kanishta has a very weak faith, he can be easily swayed. Today Krishna, tomorrow Ganesha, third day Shankarji, then Durgaji and all that. He can keep changing. Knowledge-wise, his knowledge, Uttamadhikari, is very, very strong. He can defeat the opposing opinions. You see many Maharaj or senior Vaishnavas, they can defeat your arguments left, right, and center. Madhyama, he has good knowledge, but he may not be able to always defeat the opponents. He may still not have, Prabhu, I don't know the answer, but my Krishna is everything. Hare Krishna. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. I don't know your answer, Prabhuji, but I'm okay. You see many simple villagers in India, they have very strong faith in Lord Ram or Krishna. They don't know much about scriptures, but nahi, Ramji, our Ramji will take care of us. They have so much faith. Kanishta, weak knowledge cannot offer arguments to opposing opinions. And we see many neophytes sit in this category and they keep going here and there. Now, faith, I'm just giving the definition of these two categories. Faith means conviction that the goal of life is to please Krishna and to abandon all other duties. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe, Sudhrada Nishaya. Krishna Bhakti Kaile, Sarva Karma Krat Hoya. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says the definition of Shraddha or faith. What is knowledge? Refers to knowledge of the ultimate goal of the Vedas of Krishna. Okay, so this is the definitions. This knowledge is not talking about this jnana. So Prabhupada gives certain points, so just put in point wise. First class devotee, someone can read Sundar Gopal Prabhuji if you want to.
Hare Krishna, so Prabhuji. First class devotee, he is expert in the study of relevant scriptures.
And just one thing, so you can visualize one of your favorite Maharajas, for example, in front of you, and then you can see all these points fit in this personality. It can be any senior Vaishnava, and see how it matches with his personality. As Prabhupada disciple Hari Sari Prabhu wrote a book, Prabhupada, the Living Bhagavatam. So he said, by being with Prabhupada, I didn't need to read Bhagavad because a Bhagavad person is residing in front of me. All the characteristic Bhagavatam describes, this was there in Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhuji, please continue.
He can present conclusions with discretion. He knows Krishna is the only object of worship and love. He understands the goal is to attain the loving service of Krishna. He can consider the ways of devotional service in a decisive way. He is also expert in putting forward arguments in terms of those scriptures. He strictly follows rules and regulations under the training of a bona fide spiritual master and obeys him in accord with revealed scriptures. He never deviates from higher authority, and he has firm faith in scriptures by understanding with all reason and arguments.
Yeah, so beautiful qualities, and you can relate with your spiritual master or Srila Prabhupada. You will have all this and many more as well. So Uttamadhikari is Vaishnav Tama. So we have heard that Vaishnav, Vaishnav Tara, and Vaishnav Tama. So good, better, best. So he is Tama, he is the best. CC Madhya 1673. So we have heard the story of Satyaraj Khan, the Kulin Gram Vasis, and the Mahaprabhu's conversation. Just an extract of that. The following year, the inhabitants of Kulin Gram again asked the Lord the same question. What was the question? Anyone remembers? Who is the Vaishnava? Who is the Vaishnava? Bhakti Rasamrata Maharaj has given a beautiful lecture called Who is the Vaishnava? Vaishnava kaun hai? Hindi mein hai. Beautiful lecture. You should hear that. Hearing this question, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again taught them about the different types of Vaishnavas. 1674, a first-class Vaishnava is he whose very presence makes others chant the holy name of Krishna. So we have read that in NOI as well. I'll just read the Sanskrit here. Shastra Yukti Sunipuna Drada Shraddhayar Uttam Adhikari Sai Tarya Sansar. You can see the example of Srila Prabhupada. One person shook the whole world. Shastra Yukti Sa Nipuna Sarvatha Drada Nishchaya Praud Shraddhodhikariya Sa Bhakta Uttamomati. And we also have examples from 11-45. Again, we have read it, so I'm not giving a reference here. Havir Uvacha Sarvbhuteshu Ya Pashyed Bhagavad Bhavam Atmana Bhutani Bhagavati Atmani Esha Bhagavad Tattamaha. So they don't say Uttamadhikari, they say Bhagavat Uttamaha. So the word can be different, it refers to the same thing. Madhyamadhikari, second class devotee. He is not expert in arguing on the strength of the revealed scripture, but he has firm faith in the procedure of devotional service unto Krishna. I'll not read all that, just the last statement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A person who is always chanting the holy name of the Lord is to be considered a first-class Vaishnava, and your duty is to serve his lotus feet. So here he's talking about Madhyamadhikari. He's constantly chanting. And what's the definition of Kanishtadhikari in relation to 1672? Anyone? Kanishtadhikari, who only chant once. Only chant once. So, Manusharanam Sahasreshu Kashyed Yatati Siddha. Even if he chants once, Mahaprabhu says he is worshipable. This is the famous verse, and as I said, a strong recommendation, you should remember this verse. Ishvare tad adhineshu balisheshu dusasicha prema maitri kapopeksha yah karoti sa madhyama. So there are 4 characteristics he displays. Prema, Bhakti, Kripa, and Upeksha. Prema he shows to? Who can say? Vinay Prabhu. Prema he shows to? The answer is on the screen actually. To whom Madhyamadhikari shows his prema for? Ishvara.
So, Ishvara, yeah.
Ishvara.
Yeah.
Maitri he shows to Manmohan Prabhu? Whom Madhyamadhikari shows his Maitri for? Manmohan Prabhuji. It's in the verse in front of you. So for Prema is for Krishna or Ishvara. Maitri is for
Devotees.
Tad Adhineshu. Thank you, Prabhuji. Tad Adhineshu refers to devotees. Kripa, Namaste Prabhu, whom does he show Kripa to as per the verse?
To innocent and
as per the verse. What's the word, Prabhuji?
Kripa
he shows to
Kripakeshu.
Balisheshu. Balishe, jo balak hai. Not balak by age, balak, innocent people. Upeksha, who can say? Shraddha Mataji, Upeksha. Whom does he show Upeksha to as per the verse? The last word, Dishasucha, jo dvesh karte hai. So he does upeksha to dveshis. He neglects them. Why does he neglect? Mohit Prabhuji, why does he neglect? Why does he do upeksha?
Sorry, Prabhu. Why
does he do upeksha to dveshis?
People who are like, sorry, Prabhu, I'm just trying to relate that.
No problem. Because they are envious.
People, why they do upeksha?
Yes,
people
that's the question. Because they are envious. If I associate with envious people all the time, will my Krishna consciousness will get impacted or no?
Yes.
And they may become more envious because I may not be able to defeat their arguments, and they will say something, I'll say something, more arguments. So he says, Daya Hare Krishna, you be in your room, I be in my room. So Dishasu, Dveshi, envious people, he does upeksha. I'll stop.
Just leave them alone.
Leave them alone, huh? Pray for them, huh? Send them some prasadam. Mohit Prabhu makes nice prasad, send them prasad. But you cannot associate with them because they may affect your Krishna consciousness. My computer seems to be frozen. It's 9 o'clock. I just want to finish this. Aha. Okay. We'll stop here. It's 9:02. And we'll continue our discussion next week from this point onwards. Any quick questions or comments? Everyone is, thank you, Prabhu. 9:03, leave me alone. Okay, Hare Krishna. So if you have any questions, please write it and we can start discussing those next time. And we'll do the Kanishta Adhikari and then we'll continue to the next chapter. Sundar Gopal Prabhu, any announcements?
Not at this stage, Prabhuji.
Not at this stage. Okay, Hare Krishna to everyone.
Hare
And
Krishna.
we'll see you again. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupa Goswami ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.